How serious is this investigation?
You know, I think it shows that regulators and investigators have looked at every piece of Uber. You know, the IRS looking in behavior in 2013, 2014. I mean, it's sort of hard to know how serious it is. Uber has a very sort of interesting financial situation. You know, it lost $10 billion in operating losses over the last 3 years. So this is a money-losing company that was sort of very new and tried all sorts of, had to figure out how to do its accounting. So we'll just have to see over time what the IRS finds, but it just speaks to sort of the broader array of government inquiries that this company has faced that we don't know definitively where they netted out, if they did.
Does this mean they could eventually pay more taxes in certain jurisdictions, or that they could end up with a huge fine?
I mean, there are lots of questions about Uber's taxes. A lot of it is the carry forward, right? I mean, they're losing so much money now, and the hope is, you know, the day they turn a profit, they can use some of these losses to mitigate those future taxes. So a lot of the questions, if you're reading through the S1, are around those carry forwards. And they set up, you know, their taxes in the Netherlands, trying to avoid some taxes, and then the rules have changed. So it's just a constantly shifting ground for Uber. And I think the question here is just, with the profits so far away, knowing where its tax situation nets out when it finally does turn a profit is just filled lots of uncertainty.
Meantime, we heard the CEO of General Atlantic there, who also happens to be an Uber investor, talking positively, optimistically about Uber. We did have some analysts coming out today rating the company as a buy. Meantime, Lyft shares have slid because some of these analysts are signaling a preference for Uber over Lyft. Talk to us about the dynamics here.
Yeah, I think it's hard to read too much into it. I think, you know, there was so much excitement ahead of the IPO. I think there are a lot of people who still buy into the story that we were talking about before Uber struggled on the public markets. And I think, you know, the banks, many of them that worked with Uber on its IPO, are now coming out and giving it a buy rating. And I mean, obviously there's sort of a lot of thought that goes into that. But figuring out the Uber investment is just this huge trade-off between buying into sort of the belief that the transportation industry is going to change overall versus sort of a closer analysis of the losses. And that's a big bet to make.